What's up, family? Just another episode of Mediazewtv, and I want to go across the topic of should Big Meech be praised, or why do we praise people that partake in that lifestyle? First, I'd like to start off by saying that I can plainly see the trauma that little Meech is feeling. All his actions while his father was incarcerated, and since I can tell it stems from someplace. Speaking from personal experience, my brother and I, we were raised by a drug dealer. My stepfather, he raised me from when I was 5 years old when he married my mom. And then that next year, my brother was born. And coming up, you know, they would always have friends over for get-togethers and fish fries and, you know, looking at the Georgia Bulldogs team. Because my hometown is near Atlanta and Athens. And they would drink a lot, smoke weed in front of us, just like it was nothing. And I can plainly remember when my stepdad started selling weed when I was around 9 years old. So we're talking about around 1980. So by the time we moved out of that apartment we were living in to a house, I think I was around 14 years old and my brother was about 7 years old. My mom was a nurse, so she worked 12 hours, and when we would get out of school, we would be at home by ourselves a lot of times until my dad would get off. He owned a painting contracting business with his brother and his dad. Then I can remember one day he came home with a guy and told us not to come in the house. I recognized the guy because I went to school with his son and daughter. So I pretty much, just how kids talk. Kids soak up everything. So that dad used to be a big drug dealer in the town that was over, Morgan County. So that started happening 3 or 4 times a week. You know, the guy was showing up with him in the car and they would go in the house. He was teaching him how to cook cocaine to make crack. And that's where things really started to change for us as a family, you know, when he started selling the cocaine. He wasn't a person that wore jewelry, or he wasn't a person that wore cologne. And then all of that changed once the money started coming in. You know, expensive cars, clothes, and then till he started building this big house for us, you know, that my mom still lives in to this day. But him and his brother, you know, they had a good run until about 1998 when the feds got them. And my mother remarried after divorcing him when he was in the feds. But overall, it destroyed our family and affected my brother and I then, and to some degree still does to this day. You know, feeling shame with everybody looking at you, not being able to comprehend the situation because you've lived a life where you had everything as a child that most kids didn't have growing up. But as an older man now, I can see it clearly when I think of how much the community was destroyed by my father. Womanizing, beating my mother, beating us, just blinded by money. It's like when the money started coming in, he was brainwashed into thinking he was untouchable, you know, by the way he treated people. He didn't show a lot of respect, and just how the tone that he talked to people in. He was a whole different person. Not even counting, my mom had a sister that was on cocaine. My friend's parents were on cocaine. So I say in our town from 1987 to around 1998, my dad was he probably contributed to a lot of addiction in my hometown. And I got into an argument with my brother about that once I said that out loud online on Facebook one time when I was having a disagreement with our dad. And that really ticked him off. But I didn't really give a damn, you know. I lived it just like he did. My brother's the type of person, he doesn't voice his feelings. I voice a lot of times what he feels for him. But the money became my dad's respect, you know, buying people, buying anything, spending money. You know, I'm from a small town just 20 minutes from Atlanta. So that pretty much means that when my dad was going into the federal penitentiary in 1999, Big Meech and BMF was just getting started in Atlanta, just 20 minutes down the road. But I'll elaborate on my background at a later time if that discussion is needed for the audience. And what we've been witnessing these past few weeks all on the internet with the bickering back and forth with 40 and 50-year-olds is that you're seeing a lot of people who aren't serious adults. You know, no matter what reasoning that you choose to use, it's not a serious enough reason if you're praising that type of stuff of the champion killers and drug dealers that terrorize the community. So we can't keep blaming the government from in the 1980s. That's not a good reason. You know, it just can't be justified. People just ain't shit at the core. And people like what they like, even if it's a detriment to society and everybody else around them. If it doesn't affect them directly, they don't care. It's just characters on a TV screen or a song on the radio that they don't care about destruction until it hits home. Because everybody has an affinity for gangsters. You know, America is infatuated with blood, guts, crime, and just violence. Pretty much any degenerative activity that you can see on a TV screen will get praised in some kind of way. For the same reason people still praise Al Capone, for the same reason people still praise John Gotti. You know, I really don't know what people don't understand about it, you know. Same reason people praise El Chapo. The same reason why people praise the real Rick Ross. The same reason why people praise Griselda Blanco. The same reason why people praise Pablo Escobar. And I can go on and on. Why? They all come from nothing. And they just said, fuck it. I'm going to get it my way regardless, right or wrong. And they don't care who has a problem with it. And we can all relate to a rags to riches story. It's like when the world gave them and Meech and everybody like that lemons, it's like they pissed in the lemonade and sold it back to them. Because it's not like the government didn't distribute crack through low income neighborhoods throughout the 80s. And it's not like the government doesn't promote the use of racial and social class profiling. Poor neighborhoods with policing it more strictly than middle and upper class areas because the poor people can't even get attorneys. And then you're stuck with public defenders that are nothing but a damn joke. All they do is accept a plea. So for me, it's F the system and the people that it stands for. Yeah, F the system and the people that it stands for. So the topic was, should Big Meech be praised? The main point of this is that I want to make is that Big Meech wasn't born a drug dealer. Big Meech came from God-fearing parents, so he learned the game in the streets. The same way me, my brother, and every other young person witnessed things, and like we witnessed my dad and thought that money could solve all our problems. But whether the allegations are true as to Meech telling or helping set somebody up, that's not the main issue. That man deserves a second chance to not be ostracized by anybody in this world. Meech paid his debt. As black people, we'll sit up and we'll praise Scarface and excuse what Donald Trump do, and then quick to jump up to interview Sammy the Bull, Gravano that took down John Gotti. But we treat each other like shit as black people. We act as if people are perfect. It's not the white people holding us to these stupid street codes and these stupid rules, because we do a lot of tearing each other down, as you've seen in the last few weeks. And no, I don't think Meech should be praised for his past deeds, but still, Big Meech has a lot to offer to the young people. Meech needs to just sit down for an interview and tell his story on everybody's channel. Why? Because his testimony is powerful enough because of who he is, and also add along a warning for the youth at the end. Can you imagine what type of profound impact that would have for Big Meech to say, don't go down the road that I travel? But you can leave some comments. Ain't no right or wrong comment. If you enjoyed the video, you can hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And remember to put God first. Keep your head on a swivel and stay on your pivot.
Yes.